What's up, guys? Today I'm here with Kristen. I'm super excited about today's video because I kind of wish I knew a lot of this stuff when I was bigger. A lot of these workouts I can do now, but Kristen actually came up with this video idea, so you guys can thank her. But we're gonna give you guys some modifications of some basic home workouts that we both see people doing on Instagram and YouTube. And a lot of times, I know for me, I had an entire discussion with Kevin about what's proper technique on a burpee, and sometimes like I didn't know like what was necessarily proper technique, and then if for a long time I couldn't even do a burpee because I didn't know any of the modifications to it. So, like I said, we got Kristen here today. Kristen, all right. What do you got? You got anything to say?
No, just for all you guys at home that are doing your at-home workouts, keep it up. I'm going to show you guys some modifications today. So if there's any movements you haven't been able to do, hopefully we knock that out.
Awesome. So let's get this started, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. All right, guys. So now we're moving on to our first exercise of the day that Kristen will be showing us a couple modifications, one or two that you guys can incorporate if you can't do the proper technique on the mountain climber. So first, before we show you proper technique, we're going to kind of see what Kristen sees a lot on Instagram and maybe with her clients when she first gets her hands on them. And then we'll go over proper technique. So this is what she usually sees and what I see as well.
There we go. Yeah, so as Mookie goes to do the mountain climber, we've got the hips going way up in the sky. He's pushing off of his front toes. Overall, just not an actual mountain climber. So, to modify this movement for all you guys at home, what we want to do is we want to grab something that allows us to be up off the floor. So, any kind of a box that you guys have like this, or even something higher if this doesn't seem like it's high enough. So our goal is going to be to get into a high plank position on our elevated surface. What we're going to do is we're going to think about bringing our knees to our elbows. Now that I've got room, because I'm up on my box, I can build my speed from here so that my hip stays straight and I'm not jumping off the floor.
Sounds good. Let's see it.
So our modification for the mountain climber, elevated surface here or even something like this. We're going to make room for our knees. Mookie, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Show us how it's done.
Oh, sorry.
Good. He's going to bring his knees to his elbow. With that additional space, we've created enough room for him to keep his hips in place. Great job.
Whew. Yep, that's much more difficult than the first version, and I feel like it requires a lot more stability.
Yep, so our modification to our mountain climber is elevate your surface.
All right, now on to number 2. All right, guys. So now we're going to move on to exercise number 2, which is the push-up. I think everybody's done a push-up once in their life or has attempted one. And I know for me, I have really bad shoulders. If you guys have seen my last video, I talk about my past with benching and pretty much benching with my wide arms open. And I know Kristen, she emphasizes tucking your elbows and keeping your lats tight. So before we go into proper technique and modifications for the push-up, let me show you bad technique.
Let's see this bad form. Oh, there we go. Bad form, guys. So elbows out to the side. Mookie, that's really not that bad. Can you let your lower back drop really more? There you go. Yeah, let the lower back swoop. Good. So now we got this kind of seal thing going on with elbows out to the side, which, believe it or not, we see it a lot.
So now maybe we could go first, show them the proper technique, and then we'll move into the modification.
Yep. So the first modification we're going to have is we're going to have from your knees. So I know Mookie said proper form and then proper technique. So if you cannot do it from your feet at all, always drop to the knees. When we drop to the knees, proper form is going to be 2. Make sure, again, I brace my core as always. I'm going to tuck my elbows into my sides so that I use my back as I come down so my back can stabilize.
Moving out of the way, guys. Sorry.
And I'm going to drop my chest and torso all the way as close to the floor as I can get. And I'm going to come up with my back and my torso at the same time. So modification is from the feet is going to be proper form, so elbows tucked. If you can't do it from the feet, then we drop to the knees. If we can't do it from the knees, Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do what's called a negative push-up. So from here, we're gonna tuck our elbows, make sure our core is braced, and we're gonna do a 3-second drop as we control the weight down, and we're gonna go all the way down to the floor. So we're gonna go down for 3, 2, 1, all the way down, and we're going to start back up at the top, however we can get there, guys. So again, elbows tucked, the movement's gonna be all the way down to the floor, nice and slow. We're gonna press ourselves back up however we need to. So it's called a negative push-up because we're actually working backwards on the movement. So,
let me try it out.
Try it out, Mookie.
And I know for me, when I first started my journey, if you watch Kevin and I's initial video, I did 7 push-ups and my shoulder, everything was done on me. So even if you can do push-ups and you maybe only do 5 of them, work on these modifications and build up to proper form. Because even till now, if I'm doing a high circuit, high volume workout, I'll do my push-ups off my knees so I can get 30 to 40.
Okay. Good, elbows tucked all the way down, all the way up. Good. I want to see the back and the torso rise at the same time. Awesome job. Good. So remember, if we cannot maintain this form, we're going to try it from our knees. So drop to the knees. This would be the next modification from the feet. Good. And let's say our elbows are still flaring all the way out to the side. We can't keep our torso tight. What we're going to do is we're actually going to slow the movement down, and we're only going to work all the way to the floor. We're going to release, come back up to the top, and reset. So this is a negative push-up. This is actually what I like to see people do instead of knee push-ups. So we're going to work on the form. We're going to get back up however we need to, but then we're going to work the top down again. Good. Awesome job. That's our push-up modification.
Awesome, guys. And I want you guys to send us some videos. I see the challenges on Instagram. DM Kristen and I. Her Instagram will be below as well as mine. And we want to see you guys do a lot of these workouts. So now we're going to move on to number 3. All right, guys. So now we're on to exercise number 3, working up a little bit of a sweat. And we're going to go into the forward lunge. I'm going to have Kristen demonstrate on how you should not do this exercise.
It's my favorite exercise to butcher. Okay, you guys, so when your program, your at-home program says forward lunges, 30 seconds, 50 reps, whatever it is, what we're not going to do is that big step forward, drop our knee way past our toe, put all that pressure on our kneecap here, and I'm going to back up a little bit so you guys can see that. So we're not going to drive forward, all that pressure right here, that big struggle back, and every single rep put all that pressure on our kneecap. That's what we're not gonna do. So what we are gonna do is we are going to find something in our house that we can hold on to, like this lovely chair. We're gonna take a big giant split stance, and we're gonna drop our back knee straight to the floor as we hold on, keeping our front knee directly over our ankle, and we're gonna drive straight back up. So holding on, straight down, straight up. Straight down, straight up. Loading that front leg, remembering that our back foot is just a kickstand. Loading our hamstring and our booty in the front, straight to the floor. Once you can do it without holding onto the chair, you're just gonna do it with your arms in front of you. And then, when you're ready, you will progress to driving forward, big drive up and back. Ready to try it out?
Let's try it out.
So, split stance lunge. Big split stance. He's gonna use the chair for a little bit of support. Drop straight down. This is our modification, single leg, what we call split stance versus a forward lunge. Straight down, straight up, saving our precious knee joint. Good, awesome done. That's our modification for our forward lunge.
And for me, guys, I'm still working on my lunges, so I love using this modification. It keeps my knees safe, and it's something that I could do, again, a lot of reps. A lot of these workouts, you could do maybe 5 or 6 reps, but can you really do a full workout? Exercise, you can maybe do 5 or 6 reps, but can you do it for a full workout and incorporate it into a circuit? So that's why we're showing you these modifications so that you guys can use it and put full circuits together. Yep. But we're going to move on to straight into number 4.
Number 4. This is another one I love to butcher for you guys. So number 4 is going to be a basic squat. We're going to keep my favorite prop right here. So let's go over the basic butchered squat at home. When you guys are following your workout videos, your workout program, and it says squat, a lot of the times we get this.
Ugh.
Right? All that. I can't even do it right sometimes. That forward knee drive.
It hurts me just seeing
right?
that.
So again, what's wrong with that, you guys, is we're placing all that load on our precious kneecaps. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to drive all of our weight forward. We want to use these big backside muscles, which are much bigger than our front side muscles, to pick up all that load and keep our knees nice and safe. So what we're going to do is we're going to take my favorite prop, that chair, and we're going to use it as a target to send my hips back. So rather than drive forward, I'm going to focus on sending my hips back, hovering over that chair till I can feel it, and then I'm going to stand all the way back up. So from here, hips back, try and find that chair, big drive, bringing my head straight up to the sky. That's our squat modification. It's called a chair squat. Mookie, you want to demonstrate for us?
Let's go. And so usually, this is a quick tip I'm going to throw in for bigger guys that are in my situation. I squat with my shoes off. That way I can focus on my 3 points of contact, my toe, and my pinky toe, and my heel.
Yep.
Something I work on consistently with Kevin and Paul and Kristen as well, and also tracking my knees.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do it with my shoes on because I'm able to do it now. But when I first started, I was almost never allowed to squat with my shoes on.
Nope. You always want to keep the heel and the big toe in contact. So think about your foot like a triangle, as Mookie was saying. 3 points of contact, and all 3 points should stay connected to the floor when you guys are squatting. It's really common to see people come up onto the toes when they squat, and that's when the knees start to go forward. Good. So notice that Mookie's got his feet slightly out. The first point of movement is going to be his hips going back towards that chair, and his head's going to go straight to the sky every time he stands back up. So this is one of my favorite modifications as we learn how to send the hips back versus drive the knees forward in the squat position.
Yep, and then obviously, if you guys know, we'll throw the chair out in a regular squat. If that right now, Kristen was going over the modification, but what I like to do is butt to the ground all the way down, and I'll hold this, and I'll just pull some out, and keep that good form. So that's the modification, is going to the chair, and then if you guys are able to move on from that, go as low as you can, keep that constant tension, pump them out, and you'll get a great workout with it. All right, guys, we're on to the 5th and final exercise. Kristen and I see this butchered all the time online. It's something that Pitbull and I had a lot of discussion over, and it's the burpee. So right now, we're gonna show you on how a lot of people do the burpee incorrectly, and then we're gonna go into proper technique, and we're gonna have Kristen show good technique on the burpee. So let's go with the bad technique first, and then Kristen maybe can break it down and tell us a little bit about what I'm doing wrong. But I'm gonna start with a jump.
Woo, the knees out to the side. Ooh, that big stance as we come in. Yeah. Basically, we're making this burpee way harder than it needs to be, and your poor body is like, what in the actual fuck?
Yeah, and honestly, it's hard for me to do the burpees incorrectly because it just feels so awkward. Because honestly, I have been working on this exercise, but now I'm gonna grab the camera from Kristen, and we're gonna have her go over a proper burpee technique.
For the burpee, you guys, we've got 2 modifications I'm going to give you. The first modification, because keep in mind the burpee is a very tough movement. The first modification is going to be from an elevated surface. So I've got a lovely box here. If you guys have a step at home, that'd be the best thing to use. What we're going to do is we're going to perform only half the movement. So keep in mind, we're going to bring our hips down, bring our hands to the box as if it were the floor. We're going to jump our feet out. Now here's the biggest thing, you guys, my hair's getting crazy. The biggest thing is creating enough space between the floor and your knees to actually jump your knees back in and come all the way up. That's where the burpee gets really tough for people, when our knees start to go out to the side because we don't have the hip mobility to get in. So what we're gonna do is use this elevated surface to jump all the way up, jump all the way in, stand all the way back up. That's modification number 1, is from an elevated surface, and I would recommend that as the first modification. The second modification is going to be from the ground. First part of our burpee, as we come to our hands, drop our feet out, we're gonna come all the way down. Now, if we can't push ourselves all the way back up in a uniform motion, what we're gonna do is come to our knees like a push-up and push ourselves up, come here, then we're either going to step, come all the way up, or we're going to jump ourselves in and come all the way up. So that's our second modification to the burpee.
All right, guys, that is a wrap for today's video. We went over 5 exercises and modifications to each of them. We started off with mountain climbers, then we moved on to forward lunge, squats, push-ups, and then burpees. We really hope that all these modifications are some things that you guys can incorporate. Maybe if you're at a higher level of fitness, then you can do the more advanced versions. But Kristen, if you're going to recommend somebody who's more at a beginner level, a simple workout they could do, what would you give them?
I would say for those of you guys starting out, and all the modifications are really intended for people that have range of motion issues or brand new people, I would say anywhere from 2 to 3 sets at 8 to 15 reps. Remember, you guys want to move in safe ranges of motion, as I was just saying. So don't push it. If you can't do the rep, don't keep going up.
Yep, and just wanted to give a quick shout out to SoCal Elite Physical Therapy, man. They take care of the entire Rare Breed team. Kristen, Kevin, me, keeps us on point. Also, man, if you guys, I know right now, Kevin just had maybe a month ago or so, he dropped an entire new line, man. It's the tank tops. I rock these all the time. They make my arms look on point. I'm just kidding. But they're my favorite. So I'll drop my promo code down below, Mookie10. Get everything. There's a weight loss programs on there as well. So please, man, try it out. Let us know how you like it. Follow Kristen on her YouTube. Kristen, you have anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
Nope, the Torres sisters on my channel will come back. You guys were waiting for the whole COVID-19 thing. We're trying to respect the at-home, stay-in-place, don't get together regulations right now. So no updates on the Torres sisters, but the girls are doing great. So check my channel. We're going to be bringing some other stuff to you on there, some great recipes and things that you guys can be doing at home as we are locked down. So
yep, and you know I'm going to be making appearances on her channel as she does on mine. So as always, we really appreciate the support. You guys are so awesome. We can't tell you guys on our side enough how much we love all of you guys out there, and it's so encouraging seeing people change their lives. So please continue to support us, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.